Welcome to the Legacy Leaders Podcast. Are you doing the best for your client to help them create their legacy? Are you creating a plan that goes far beyond finances to help people ensure that it becomes the driving force behind all decisions? On this podcast, hosts Katie Beth Hand and Stan Miller will help you with growing your practice and your clients' peace of mind. Together, they bring the best and brightest minds to share with you how to help your clients develop their best legacy. And now, here are your hosts, Katie Beth and Stan.
Welcome to the Legacy Leaders Podcast. I'm your guest host, Vance Bennett, and joining me today is the founder of Buckeye Innovations, Brad Griffith. Brad is focused on helping small businesses, nonprofits, and local governments thrive digitally. He loves recruiting top talent to help his clients make an impact in their communities. Brad, thank you for joining me today. Before we dive in, take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Vance. I appreciate it. So I'd love to share a little bit about my background. I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. My dad was a veterinarian and ran his own veterinary practice for 50 years in Dublin, Ohio. And so I grew up on Christmas Day. We would go clean kennels or take dogs for a walk. Maybe they had an emergency, an animal that ate an ornament off the tree. And so we'd help out every way that my dad might need us in the practice. So I learned what it was like to be in an entrepreneurial family with limited resources for your business. And so you get help wherever you can. At an early age, then I also got a job for an educational planning firm in high school. It was my high school job, and I did some work for them, built their first website. They had a paper survey they sent out all across the state of Ohio to school districts, and I helped them to digitize that before SurveyMonkey and Google Forms and platforms like that. So I got an early start in that for my high school, Dublin Scioto High School. I helped to build their first website and learned about that. And then when I went to college, while I was studying electrical and computer engineering, I did a lot of volunteer work for student organizations and built web apps and mobile apps and tools that would help them, an application for the student organization where someone could apply to become a member through a website. Put up a lot of skills. So that's my general background. I grew up in Dublin, Ohio. Very entrepreneurial family, went for engineering, but fell in love with software even before I went to engineering school. So then I ended up back in software when I started my company almost 17 years ago now.
All right. Okay, and so what was the spark that lit your love for the digital world?
Sure. So I saw my very first project. I had seen my dad's needs as a small business owner trying to grow his practice. But my very first project was in school. I was doing a book report. I don't know if you read George Orwell's Animal Farm. It's a classic. A lot of people read that. So we read Animal Farm, and this is 1996. And so the internet is just getting started. We had AOL and CompuServe around those days. And other students, to that point, had done PowerPoint presentations for book reports, and teachers were just amazed that, wow, this is so cool. And then other kids started doing that. And so I had to up my game. And this is maybe not as meaningful a start as some people have, but it evolves into more mission-driven work later. So I did a book report as a website, and I built this website and I published on the internet. You asked about the spark. So the thing that I just fell in love with was this idea that I can build something and publish it on the web. Anyone in the world can go use that. And that was powerful. I can find a need. Maybe educating people about Animal Farm is not a huge need, but I was up very late last night because I don't know if the Girl Scout cookie season started just over a week ago, and I'm a Girl Scout cookie dad. And so I was building some software for Girl Scout cookie sales to help my daughter track. I've got two daughters who are in sales, to help them track their cookie sales and make the process easier. So the ability to apply the skill in building software and publishing it, and then now the whole world can use it. It's I don't know, just something that I absolutely love. It's almost an obsession now for me. How can I find a challenge, apply technology to that challenge, and make people's lives better? Whether that's through Girl Scout cookies, or we've got some more mission-driven work that we do these days. All
right. Well, I hope you're making a lot of Samoa sales.
For sure, that is my favorite. The coconut can be polarizing, but I love the coconut caramel.
Yeah. And so you're passing on that entrepreneurial spirit to your daughters then?
For sure. I have my older daughter is very entrepreneurial. She has a card business. She does hand-painted greeting cards and sells those. She's got distribution in 2 retail stores, and she sells them online. I've got the cookie sales business with Girl Scout cookies. What I love most about cookie sales and what they do with Girl Scouts, it's building confidence, it's teaching skills, and whether it's sales skills, marketing skills, having conversations with adults, having the confidence to present some information. It has built both of my daughters' confidence significantly. So yeah, I love that support of a female entrepreneur of the future.
That's great. That's great. I coached girls high school soccer for 12 years. And
Oh,
so,
fantastic.
yeah. And I love giving opportunities for the young ladies to reach their full potential. And
Yeah.
I think that's great. So kudos to you,
Yeah.
Dad. Good job.
Thanks.
Was there a specific event that started Buckeye Innovation? I mean, how did that get created?
Sure. I think I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So it wasn't necessarily one specific event, but continually seeing these growing innovative organizations that my dad's business, for instance, he did chiropractic and herbal medicine, Chinese medicine with animals, and he had acupuncture, all sorts of things that could change the life of a pet. And for those, I don't know if you're a pet owner, for pet parents, the health of their pet, it's like their child. And it was just amazing seeing a dog that couldn't walk, and my dad could do acupuncture or chiropractic. And sometimes, not for every single case, but for some of those cases where they had been told that it required surgery or their dog would never walk again, he was able to nearly perform miracles. Like, it was just amazing that applying his skills that he had learned through studying acupuncture in China and studying chiropractic medicine, it was able to make a huge difference in the lives of these families and their pets. I can tell story after story of business owners and nonprofits and local governments that are changing people's lives, but they lack some resources that others have. When you're a big business or you're a high net worth individual, you've got a lot of money at your disposal. It's much easier to find all those resources and use them to make your life better. When you're a smaller business, you're growing, you're a nonprofit, your local government, I've seen time and time again that they don't have the same quality of technology that I saw at JP Morgan Chase when I was working there. When you're at a big business, you just have so many more resources at your disposal. So I would say it's a series of events, series of seeing these mission-driven organizations, what they are or more often are not able to do with technology because of their resources. That's really what sparked this, that I wanted to help these incredible life-changing products and services get out there and scale up using technology and design. And so I can give you lots of examples of clients that I feel are doing very meaningful work. That's what drives me.
Okay. Well, that sounds like I can sense the passion in that. And so that probably really helps. Then that sounds like that's your core mission. And a lot of times do know that small business owners and even governments and nonprofits, they don't have that access to that experience that you have and see what's available to them. So I can see, is that what you're fulfilling for them, is bringing that expertise and that knowledge to them that otherwise they wouldn't have access to?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have clients who are doing incredibly important mission-driven work. They are closing equity gaps in our communities, finding people in need, people who don't have access to the same resources or experiences or information that others do. And while our clients are doing that incredibly meaningful work, I want to make sure we're providing technology and design that amplifies the impact they have on our community. And so providing access to the best web and mobile technology, that's really what we're trying to do for those mission-driven organizations.
I think that would be pretty critical, major to their success or achieving their goals.
Yeah. Sometimes we're able to have a big impact to help them do a lot more of the great work that they're doing.
Good. So you mentioned a few of the types of businesses that you help. Is there an ideal client that you have, or who do you look for? Who do you want to help?
Sure. I think any professional service provider probably wants a client who knows what they know and knows what they don't know, who says, I need expertise in a certain area, and I trust Buckeye Innovation to provide me that technology and design expertise. I need a client who knows the impact they're trying to have, who knows I have a population, I know my customer and I know what they need. I don't know technology. And so that's the kind of client that I want. Someone who says, I need a resource. I know that we could scale up using technology and design. I just don't know how. So clients who will bring me a problem and say, here is who I'm serving and what they need, and here is how we deliver our services. I just don't know exactly how to solve this problem. Can you apply technology and design to it? So that's really the core of the ideal client. Libraries are fantastic for us. They are doing incredibly important work. The Columbus Metropolitan Library is one of my absolute favorite clients because of all the great work they do for job seekers, for kids who are learning to read for the third grade reading guarantee. Today is a very cold day in Columbus, Ohio. They provide shelter, they provide warmth, they provide meals for kids during the summer. They're doing amazing, incredible things to change people's lives. And we're able to provide technology that helps to support them. So an open-minded client, one who says, I know technology and design would be helpful to us, I just don't know how. And then they know their mission and they know how they serve people. That means we're both bringing a lot of value to the table and we can help them to amplify the impact that they're having.
That's good. That's good. So sometimes do you help clients like clearly define what they're maybe lacking as far as reaching out digitally? Sometimes that you don't know what you don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. I love talking to clients about what, if you wanted to grow to 10 times your impact, you wanted to work with 10 times as many people, serve a much wider population, what would it take to do that? Or what are the obstacles right now where you say, well, that's just not possible. We couldn't possibly have that much impact because of this obstacle. Doesn't have to be technology related. And then I want to help them find solutions. How can we apply technology creatively? So I absolutely think that our clients frequently don't know exactly what they need. They may come with some idea, but they do know what their obstacles are. They know what their bottlenecks are in their business or their nonprofit. And then we can work with them to identify technology that they couldn't even come up with, those applications of technology that help them do a lot more of their work.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some of the common mistakes you see clients making when they're trying to implement technology?
Well, I think one is definitely that a lot of clients feel like I could just do it myself with no advice. We'll just handle this ourselves. AI can handle it for us. And that's big these days. It can do a lot, but I think that our best clients, they value their time. They know the best use of their time. And so a very common mistake is to say, I'm capable, I'm smart enough, I could just build this myself. And technically it's true. Yeah, you could build it yourself, but it's frequently not the absolute best use, highest value, best use of your time. So that's definitely a general issue that I think some clients have. I think there's some big issues these days about website accessibility for local governments, anyone serving the public. There's a mandate in the Americans with Disability Act, Title II, that covers government entities. They have to have their website accessible to people with disabilities by April 24th of this year. So we see a lot of that right now. We see people who just are not leveraging technology because maybe they don't know how, they don't have the resources. There are those who say, oh, I could just do this myself. And then there's those who say, it's just not for us. Like our population doesn't use technology as much. Almost everyone these days seems to have cell phones or they've got access to technology at the library. There are ways to use technology in a very accessible way for the public. So that would be another, I would say, thinking they could do it themselves or not thinking about technology as a potential way to amplify their impact. But We're here to help with that.
I think maybe one of the values that they might not recognize is that with you working with so many different organizations, helping them solve so many different problems, that you have a whole bank of expertise and experiences to bring that problem solving ability to their particular situation that they don't have because they're just limited to, that. Yeah. Do you find like you're because of that big experience bank that you're able to bring more solutions that maybe clients don't realize they're missing? That is a value.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are clients a number of our clients have in-house developers or in-house IT staff and marketing staff. But when you're in-house and you're dealing with one website, one marketing campaign, one company, one nonprofit every day, you don't have that diversity of thought that our whole team is working with lots of clients every day in, day out. On any given year, we work with about 80 different clients. So all of those different projects we work on, that's helping us to become more creative and to solve problems in more creative ways. And the diversity we have on our team, it helps us to solve problems from different perspectives. And you just don't get that when you've got a smaller in-house team. We're providing a whole team that in a fractional sense, you get a little bit of a front-end designer and a UX designer, a content strategist, front-end and back-end developers. You get all of these resources from our team. And it's even for someone who has some in-house team members, we provide a lot of value. So I definitely find that we're able to help solve problems more creatively and spark something that they couldn't have come up with just with their in-house team.
So what's sort of some of your biggest challenges that you face, your businesses face?
Yeah, good question. AI is a very interesting one. I see it as a little bit of a challenge because there are some uses of AI that are not as great for our environment, they're also not great for our minds. The videos, AI generated videos that are just nonsense videos, it's making social media feeds even less valuable in many instances. So we have to combat some of that. We use AI in our tools. We are not using AI in that sense of generating silly videos. But AI is changing a lot of industries right now. And so I see it as a challenge, maybe a PR challenge of making sure people know there are really good uses of AI. Similar to technology, though, I've said for years, we can use technology for good or for evil. We could use technology in a way that it replaces people. And I don't have to have a one-on-one conversation with you. I can just use technology or send emails or chat online. Or we can use it in a way that enriches the human experience, that enriches our connection, helps us stay in touch in a way that we couldn't have because we're not in the same city. So I think there are ways that we can use AI that enriches creativity. I Am is teaching a class at Arizona State University about for creatives, for artists, using AI to increase the creativity of artists. So a star like that who's willing to embrace technology and say, this can actually enhance what we do. It's not something that to just feel threatened about. That's something I'm fascinated about. So yeah, there are a lot of challenges. That's one of them. The budget challenges with nonprofits and local government right now. Budget is always a challenge for nonprofits, but particularly over this last year, there have been a lot of threats to the funding of nonprofits, grant funding. So that has been challenging. I think there's been a lot of creativity, and I would say I like to look for the helpers, something Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers. When there's a challenging situation, there are people out there who are trying to help. And so I think we've seen a lot of philanthropists step up and say, I see a gap that maybe federal government funding is leaving or other grant funding is leaving. I want to help with that problem. So that's definitely a big challenge. I think our clients are finding some ways, or we're even helping them leverage technology to do more with less of a budget than they had before. So a lot of good opportunities in the challenges, I would say.
Good. Could you tell us a story about a client that you really impacted and like whom you were truly able to help or even impacted you?
Yeah, for sure. I've got plenty of these. We've got a lot of different clients that we work with who are doing very meaningful work in the community. One of our favorites on the team was a project called Opportunity Port. And this was a City of Columbus project originally. It was funded by City Council for individuals who are in the justice involved community. They have something on their criminal record. The process for record sealing, it's say when you were 18, you stole something, or maybe even you were just accused of something and it's still sitting as a charge on your criminal record. You might not have even been convicted of it, or you have some minor offense. When you're 40 years old, you could still be discriminated against in housing and lending and employment because of that minor charge. The process also, it was a paper process. You can imagine if you have had involvement with the court system, you really don't want to go back to that court system and file a bunch of paperwork and spend time in court. It's not a great process. So it's a population that was very much in need. The studies that they did leading up to this project said that by getting your record sealed, a family can increase their household income by $10,000 in the first year after getting your record sealed, just on average, which can be a life-changing increase in income. So what we did, we helped City Council to build a new portal that makes it very easy that anyone, and it's important that we make it very accessible, but anyone could go through this portal, fill out some basic information, and be connected with free legal services to help them get their record sealed. And this was particularly in Franklin County in Central Ohio here. So it was a great project. It is up and running. It has served a lot of people. We've got similar projects we've done in digital equity, trying to teach people. We built a digital equity portal that helps people to learn digital life skills. And our portal lists classes they could take from organizations like the Columbus Library, Jewish Family Services, Goodwill Columbus. So we built a portal that makes it very easy to get access to devices and digital skills. So it's those sort of things where there's a population who really either needs help getting their record sealed and there's a process that's inefficient, or they need digital skills, they need a device where they can access the internet. And we built a portal for them that improves the process and makes it accessible to a lot more people. So those are a couple examples of projects that I really loved.
That's good. I love to hear your passion about helping people. I love the stories about your family and the lessons that you learned when you grew up. What do you hope your legacy is going to be for your company, for yourself?
Yeah, great question. I've thought about this Since I was little, I initially wanted to be a doctor. I was pre-med in college for my first year and a half. I wanted to help people directly, and I thought medicine was the way to do that. So the best way to directly help people. I have found a career, though, in software where we can build technology that is sustainable for an organization and enables them beyond the time that we work with them, enables them to be far more efficient, creative about how they deliver services. I'm really proud of my team that I built as well. So I want my legacy to be maybe on a couple of fronts. On the business front, I would like to live the principles of conscious capitalism or agape capitalism that the founders of Donato's came up with, applying love to make capitalism better for humanity, better for all of us. Or evergreen companies. The Tugboat Institute has a neat concept about evergreen companies. So on the business leadership side of things, I would like my legacy to help other business owners and entrepreneurs know that you can do good while doing well. You can run a business that is not strictly about profit, and you can run a good, profitable business by doing good for other people, taking care of your employees, taking care of the community, doing what's best for your client. It's not purely about stakeholder value. So I'd like that to be part of my legacy. And then from a standpoint of client impact, I have a team who is passionate about closing equity gaps, applying technology for organizations that traditionally would not get access to that technology because of their budget or because of where they're located or their leadership team. And so I hope that I leave a legacy inspiring other people to do work, be creative, be innovative, use ingenuity to do work for organizations that really need that work done. And other companies, other agencies may not want to serve them. A couple of things. I think my team will be a big part of my legacy, but I think the software that lives out there and the interns who we inspire, the apprentices whose jobs, careers we grow, I hope those will all be a big part of my legacy.
That's great. Love to hear that. Brad, how can our listeners get in touch with you or learn more about you and Buckeye Innovation?
Sure. You can find us online, buckeyeinnovation.com. We're on all social media. Look for us on Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Brad Griffith on LinkedIn, or you can email me, brad@buckeyeinnovation.com. I'd love any of the listeners who have one of those challenges where you say, my growth as a business or the impact I'm having is limited, and I don't really know what is that thing that's going to get me through this bottleneck. I love having those conversations. Please drop me an email. Love to just schedule a conversation. We can get together or virtually or in person and do some brainstorming. I love those conversations.
That's great. I do hope some of our listeners take advantage and go to your website, see some of the other podcasts that you've done, and see some of the articles that you've written. Appreciate what you're doing for the Columbus and greater Ohio area. You're doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that our listeners should know about you or that you would like for us to know?
I think it's important to know that there are ways to leverage technology to connect people and to make your work, your impact greater, but you got to talk to people. You can know what you don't know, bring in resources, find people who are what I like to call like-hearted people. I don't want to surround myself by like-minded people who all think the same way. I'd like people who think differently and have different life experiences. So look for that. Find your village, but find people who have different life experiences than you, but have a similar passion, a similar heart. And hopefully I can be one of those for some of the listeners, but we all find our village somewhere different. All
right. That is great. You've dropped a lot of pearls of wisdom, and I hope some of our listeners will take advantage of that. But I want to thank you for joining me today. This has been the Legacy Leaders Podcast with your guest host, Vance Bennett. And our disclaimer, today's show is just for general interest and education purposes. No specific investment advice has been given. Vance Bennett is a registered representative, and securities are offered through Fortune Financial Services, and registered investment advisory services are offered through Parallel Equity Advisors, Ltd. My guest today has been the founder and Buckeye Innovations, Brad. And to connect with Brad, you can visit buckeyeinnovations.com. We'll link this in the show notes. And again, Brad, thank you for sharing your story. I hope your daughters do excellent and all the Girl Scouts do excellent in their cells. And make sure you contact Brad for those Girl Scout cells. And just thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much, Vance. Appreciate having me.
All right. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Legacy Leaders Podcast with Katie Beth Hand and Stan Miller. For more information on them and the show, please visit pinnaclelegacylaw.com. If you like what you've learned today, do share the program with your friends and subscribe wherever podcasts are found.